Now, before you tell me to go away, this video isn't going to be me explaining what crunch is and why it's bad. We all know that by now, annoyingly so. Now, there's a reason why you're seeing Cyberpunk 2077 behind me. It's because of the recent crunch that happened quite a while ago now, that happened at CD Projekt RED. Now, don't worry, this video isn't about ripping into CD Projekt RED or calling them out at all. It's more about the views of crunch in the gaming community that happen in the games industry. CDPR is one of my favourite game development studios out there, and I think that is one of the main reasons why I wanted to make this video and actually focus on them, is because I like them so much. I want them to be the best they can be. The same for Naughty Dog, and the same for Insomniac and all these other places. What happened a while ago is that CDPR promised that they wouldn't be enforcing crunch on their employees at all, and they promised that, and they said that they were going to stick to that. However, a while ago they actually went back on that, and that's probably got something to do with what's happening in the world at the moment, and also how close they are to actually finishing the game even after multiple delays. But what it highlighted was not how crunch is rife in the industry anyway, which we all know, and it's been talked to death about, but it should still be. But the view of crunch to people in the community is becoming a bit worrisome. Obviously, there's people who care about crunch and don't want any employee to crunch in any industry, and that's the important bit that we'll get back to later. There's obviously people who just don't give a shit about crunch in the game industry at all. They just want their games. Give me my games. I just want my Cyberpunk. But what's interesting though is this view that's rising at the moment, where it seems that people are more willing to forgive game development studios for doing crunch practices as long as the studio's been doing more good than bad. And where am I going with this? A lot of people across social media and some people on YouTube have said that basically CDPR is a very good company, and they are a very good company. They do pro-consumer actions, they have free DLC, free upgrade paths for next-generation consoles, and all this stuff. They are one of the most pro-consumer companies in the games industry today. There is no doubt about that. However, this view of a karma point-based system of companies is a bit weird. But to gauge the karma value of a company and then allowing a bit of wiggle room for negative or positive practices based on how many positive practices they've done in the past seems a little weird. These people feel that a game development studio should be given the benefit of a doubt depending on what good they have done compared to bad, even if what they're doing at that moment happens to be, well, kind of shady. While I can understand that mindset, it's just not a good one to have, because if we go by that, then companies like EA can just release free DLC, right? And then just lower the percentage chance of everything in a loot box. Surprise mechanic.
Quite fun, quite ethical.
With this mindset, we're sort of in that danger area of the ends justify the means. As long as Cyberpunk comes out, or any game for that matter comes out, at the quality that we've promised, it doesn't matter how we get there. Now, that I'm not saying that CD Projekt RED are weird in their practices. I don't know their practices. I only know what we've been told, and while every company has their crunch, which they shouldn't do, they are widely accepted as a positively ethical company, right? Now, some people hear reports of crunch in the video game industry and they think, well, tough shit, I have to crunch, we all have to crunch in any industry. And you're right. But also, you shouldn't be crunching either. The idea of crunch doesn't just begin and end in the video game industry. It is one of the few industries where it is reported on the most, but that doesn't mean that other industries don't have crunch. We've had crunch for decades in all sorts of areas. It's one of the reasons why parents don't come home as much or as early as they want to, or on time. It's why there's such a negative work mindset in Japan. It's why there's so much negative mental health issues that can derive from overworking and working past the point you can anymore. And if you are prone to crunch and you have gone through it before, even you know that crunching and working past the point that you should be or you can at that point anymore doesn't just have negative health effects, but for the company that you're working for or the business, the quality and productivity that the employees going through crunch is just... Now, it doesn't make CD Projekt RED a bad company. I genuinely believe that this company, and there's few of these companies in the industry or in the world even, that genuinely care about their employees, and they genuinely want the best for them, and they genuinely want to just create brilliant games like the rest of the employees do, right? I also believe that what's happened this year and how close we are to that release date after a couple of delays sort of spurred on that rash decision to enforce crunch as a working practice towards that last chunk of effort until the game went gold recently. Without rules being put in place for crunch in any industry, it can quickly devolve into a very destructive practice, and one that will ruin any business or company-employee relationship in the future, past and present. That being said, I am extremely excited for Cyberpunk 2077, and I'm just an extreme fan of CD Projekt RED in general. And we've waited for so long since 2012, and we've waited through multiple delays. But let's not let that excitement blind us from the sacrifices these developers have made in order to bring us a game of such quality and a game made with such love and affection. It's easy to forget that these developers have loved this game just as long as we have, if not even longer. Thanks for watching, and special thanks to all my Patreons for supporting me, and to those who would like to, link is down below. Make sure you're subscribed for more DarkDax, otherwise I'll make you crunch.